Hi everyone. So now we'll take the topic Indo-Bangladesh. So we'll see this topic from the prelims perspective and also from the mains perspective. Okay. So it's in the news. She visited Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina visited a country and made many agreements. So strengthening the Indo-Bangladesh relations further. Okay. So first of all, so from the prelims perspective, either for the groups or for the mains, so what are the states that was bounding Bangladesh that has contact with that shares the border with Bangladesh? So if we come from here, so here we have Bangladesh, West Bengal, here we have Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are the states that have that shares borders with Bangladesh. Sikkim doesn't have a border, does not share a border with Bangladesh. Now, we'll see a brief history of India-Bangladesh relations. So we all know, so after independence when India and Pakistan were divided, so we have West Pakistan and here it is East Pakistan. But later on in 1971, there were rebels who were against the rule of Pakistan. So they wanted to go for independence. At that time, India was the one who came to the help of this Bangladesh, at that time East Pakistan. So in 1971, Indian Army along with Mukti Bahani, who was the leader of the freedom struggle for the Bangladesh. So they all went for they followed this guerrilla resistance and movement. Guys, we'll see the history of the Bangladesh. So what is its history? How India played a role in the history of Bangladesh. See, before independence, so Bangladesh was also part of India. So after independence, it was divided. So this is West Pakistan and this is East Pakistan. People from the East Pakistan wanted independence from Pakistan. They wanted to divide from the Pakistan because one is the connectivity and the East Pakistan is not having a good relations or good representation in the West Pakistan. The development of East Pakistan was not good if you compare with the West ones at that time. So they demanded independence. One of the few of the reasons. At that time, India was a country who supported this struggle for independence. So Indian Army along with Mukti Bahini in Dhaka. Dhaka is the capital of Bangladesh. So these people took a guerrilla warfare, they adopted a guerrilla warfare and fought with the Pakistan and it was liberated in 1971. So India was the first country to recognize Bangladesh as a country and establishing a relations with that country. This topic, this discussion, totally goes around the Indo-Bangladesh relations with respect to the answers. If we come across the answers that were in the GS paper 2, international relations, from that perspective, this whole discussion is going to happen. Not with how the history, how it happened, how they got the independence. That is not the major agenda of this topic. It will go around the international relations between the two countries. So how we are going to take this topic? First one, we'll see the resolved issues. So how the things turned out. What are the major agreements that took place between these two countries? So land boundary agreement, maritime boundary agreement. Next, recent visit, as we told, Sheikh Hasina visited India. So at that time, in the many sectors, there was collaborations. So one was they concluded a treaty over Kushiara and there are collaborations and agreements in other sectors: economy, defense, investments, energy, medical tourism. So from different perspectives, in different sectors also they are having collaborations and agreements. And next, what is the strategic importance of Bangladesh to India? This is the most important one from the mains perspective. But still there are issues. So this is all these points were how far we came in these relations. This is what are the other issues that were still concerning or that having a strain on Indo-Bangladesh relations. So majorly it was Teesta water agreements and other waters sharing agreements that were between the India and Bangladesh. And we also deal with this Rohingya issue, which Bangladesh is struggling with. So, and China's relations with Bangladesh. So we have to observe how China is helping Bangladesh and how that will affect India, and whether India has an opportunity in entering into the or having a good relations. We already had a good relations, but we want to strengthen them further. Do we have that opportunity? So from all this perspective, we are going to take this topic. Okay. So as I told you, we had a land boundary agreement. First of all, at the time of independence, as I told you, Bangladesh is part of Pakistan. Sir Radcliffe was the one who was the committee who was to decide this boundary line between the Pakistan and India. So for the Bangladesh and India also, so according to Sir Radcliffe, so there was a boundary was drawn. After formation of Bangladesh in 1971, in 1974, India and Bangladesh signed a land boundary agreements. They exchanged the enclaves. We'll see that what that enclaves is further. Earlier, the small rajas, small enclaves used to be there on both sides. So they were not distributed in a very well mannered. So for that reason, there is always an issue, contentious issue. See, let's take this. Here we have a Bangladesh, here we have West Bengal, that is India. So these are the Bangladesh enclaves, and these are Indian enclaves that belongs to India. So for these people, they'll not reap the benefits of the programs that were in India. So in that way, the conditions of the people in these enclaves were miserable. So for that reason, what is a major agreement that took place? So both the countries signed an agreement in 2015. See, in our constitution, when we want to seize a property or when we want to give a property, we have to make an amendments to our constitution. So for that reason, under 100th amendment to the Constitution of India, so we brought this enclaves. So 2015 land boundary agreement. So what is 2015 land boundary agreement? Exchange of 111 enclaves from India to Bangladesh, and Bangladesh transferred 51 enclaves to India. So only one thing that you have to remember from this is land boundary agreement took place. So where we exchanged the 111 enclaves to them and 51 enclaves to India. This is a huge achievement in both the relations between the countries. Okay, but still these people are having issues. One is they're not having proper documents, and other is rehabilitation issues. Next, see, we also resolved our maritime boundary issues. So for the maritime boundary issues, we went to UN Tribunal. So in the UN Tribunal gave a ruling, an award, so where it decided a maritime boundary line over the territorial sea and exclusive economic zone. What is exclusive economic zone? From the coastal, 200 nautical miles from the coastal is the exclusive economic zone for the country. So we have disputes over that exclusive economic zone. So now with the help of UN, we were able to solve the issue. Both the countries accepted this UN's ruling. This is also another milestone in relations. Now what we are going to see, what are the recent collaborations. So among the recent visit of Sheikh Hasina, the major one was Kushiara Water Treaty. Kushiara Water Treaty was a major one that was signed by both the countries. So what is this river? Where was it? So here we have Barak River. Where is Barak River? Barak River is from Manipur. Barak River is from Manipur, but it flows in Mizoram, and we also have Assam, Meghalaya, lower areas. So in all these areas, this Barak River flows. And after entering into Bangladesh, this is the Barak River. After entering into Bangladesh, this will turn as Kushiara river, this is Kushiara and this Shurma. So this is a treaty on this Kushiara river. What is a Kushiara river? It is a distributary, not a tributary, distributary of Barak river. What is the other distributary of Barak river? Surma. These could be a possible questions. And another thing is, here on the Barak river, we wanted to build a Thaipaimuk dam. India wanted to build a Thaipaimuk dam over the Barak river, which was a contentious issues at that time. So what was this? Bangladesh objected this type construction of the dam. We didn't build it because there were objections, concerns from the Bangladesh that it will stop the flow to the Bangladesh region. Both for the farmers and for the fishing community, this dam will affect them. And not only that, it is also affecting the environment in this region. So that is why this dam was not built. Okay. So anyways, coming back. So from the prelims perspective, I want you to go through the Barak river also. So where it was born, so how it is taking place, do we have any national parks along this Barak river? And not only this, but this Barak river in the northeast region, it is also acting as a very good in waterways. It's a part of waterways in northeastern region. Okay. So now India and Bangladesh made a treaty over this Kushiara river. See, earlier we had a treaty with Ganga Water Treaty in 1996. Almost after 12 years, we made a water sharing agreement. So as I told you, it is a distributary of Barak river, and the agreement is aimed to benefit the southern areas of Assam and the select region of Bangladesh. We have already seen. So here this is Surma, this river, and this is Kushiara, and this is Select, and here we have lower parts of Assam. So it will benefit the lower parts of Assam and also the Select division of Bangladesh. Okay. So that is the major milestone, or you can say a good one that strengthens the relations. Next important thing between any country is their economic relations. So how the economic relations with India and Bangladesh? The fourth largest for Indian exports worldwide. Bangladesh is the fourth largest one. And not only that, even during the COVID period, the bilateral trade between the two countries increased by 44%. So that was the relations and the connections and the dependency on trade with each other. Like both the countries are depending on each other. So that is an important point. The one which can be good for the both the countries. You can say that. So Indian exports to Bangladesh. See, what is the major industry in Bangladesh? Guys, what is the major industry in Bangladesh? Textiles. Because of their cheap labor, textile industry is very strong in Bangladesh. So, what India exports to Bangladesh? Raw cotton, non-retail pure cotton yarn, and also electricity. This is important. See, guessing this is easy. See, because Bangladesh located over here, where the Ganga, Brahmaputra, many rivers are flowing. It brought a very good silt, alluvial, but depending upon the region and also the cotton needs minimum sunny days. So for that, and also need black cotton soil. So because of these reasons, they can't grow much of the cotton. They are growing, but Indian cotton is important for them. So we will export them our cotton. Okay. And at the same time, electricity. So we used to sell them electricity from the Jharkhand, and the concessional rate definitely. So from the Jharkhand thermal plant, we'll supply the electricity, and from Assam, we'll supply them electricity. From the major electricity boards, they are buying electricity from us, and also we are providing them concessional rates. So this is another important point. Next, what we'll import from Bangladesh? Pure vegetable oils, non-knit men's suits. As I told you, they have a very good textile industry and the textile scraps. So why I explained this is because without by-hearting, we can learn these things if you go through the logic. But even though our trade is growing exponentially, the major concerns for the concerns to Bangladesh were the new custom rules of India. What is this new custom rule? They have to show a certificate of origin from Bangladesh. They have to show a certificate of origin from Bangladesh, whether the goods are coming from Bangladesh only. So that they have to show. And also the anti-dumping duty imposed by India. These are the two things that were concerning Bangladesh. But I want you to remember this point. So now we have seen how the trade between the countries and what are the important exports and imports, and we also see what are the concerns, specific concerns. But the point which I want you to remember is negotiations on the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. So this is a one more step towards having a free trade agreements. It's a step towards free trade agreement. So why India or the Bangladesh is need for this comprehensive economic partnership? Why? Because by 2026, Bangladesh will move from least developing country to status to developing country. Least developed country status to developing country by 2026. So what are the benefits that is getting from international and regional agreements through being a least developed country? Least developing countries will have benefits. So like custom duties will be really reduced. Such things will not be applicable when they move to when they become a developing country. For that reason, they want to make this SEPA agreement to preserve the trade privileges, to still enjoy the trade privileges, trade advantages. So they want to make this agreement with India. Now coming to investments. So our private sector is investing vastly in Bangladesh. So we are also developing 2 economic zones at Misarai and also Mongola. In these areas, we are developing in 2 economic zones. And not only that, we extended a credit line to $8 billion. That is also an important point, which is the highest for any single country. We gave a huge credit to Bangladesh. Next, we know this. So energy plant, I told you, they depend on our electricity. So Maitri thermal power plant, which we helped them to build because of our concessional loans, because of our concessional rates, and because of our help with the technology, we were able to build a Maitri thermal power plants, and its first unit is going to commission, and which will help to provide electricity for the Bangladesh region. And not only that, there was a friendship pipeline from the Assam refinery, which was also near to the completion. It will deliver petroleum products to Parbatipur in Bangladesh. So I want you to remember how we helped for them to develop a thermal power plants and also the friendship pipeline. Next, so we also having cooperation along other sectors in the space technology. Under SAARC, Bangladesh also part of SAARC. So we have to provide information, weather forecasting, floods, earthquakes. So the information regarding the disasters will provide to the countries like Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. For these countries, we will provide information. So not only that, we extended the cooperation furtherly under space technology, information technology. So to have the systems used by the railways, and in science and technology also we are having cooperation, especially sharing flood water related information in real time. See, Brahmaputra will come from these hills all over, from the Trans Himalayas, Middle Himalayas, Purvanch, Shival, all it will come with a very steep flow. So there will always floods in Bangladesh region. Sorry, in the Brahmaputra brings the floods, and this will continue over into the to the Bangladesh region, and also from here it will go to Ganga will be flowing. If you observe, here we have Bangladesh. So one side Brahmaputra and the other side is Ganga. Both will join as known as Padma, and they'll come to the Bay of Bengal. Okay. So they'll bring the floods to give the real-time information about the floods. So they also made a collaboration over here. And not only that, we are providing training for the railway personnel and also for the judicial officers, and also cooperation in broadcasting, that is Prasara Bharati and Bangladesh television. And other important point that we have to remember, we extended 500 million to the defense related procurement. Okay, many especially the hardware parts, the weapons, the artillery, the guns, the ships, the warships, the cannons. So Bangladesh is importing defense equipment from India. So as I told you, medical tourism also plays a crucial role between the two countries. Why? Because 30% of India's international medical patients are from Bangladesh, and 50% of income that is coming from medical tourism is also from Bangladesh. So in that medical tourism perspective, Bangladesh is a major role, plays a major role. Now, as I told you earlier, strategic significance is very important from MEIS perspective. So first we'll see geopolitical significance, how and why it is important for us. First one, so we have a Gujarat doctrine which talks about neighborhood first policy. So neighborhood comes first. So Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. So they want us to make a good relations with these countries. So it plays a very important role. Why? Because see, if you observe here, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, already these two are in debt and economic crises were going on in these countries. So for the exports and for the economic perspective, India depends on Bangladesh. India-Bangladesh relations helps from this perspective. So India's neighborhood first policy will give importance to Bangladesh. And not only that, important from the Act East perspective. We have an Act East policy. What is this Act East? So this is the countries, even for the Southeast Asia, the connectivity should be through Eastern region. Northeast region will provide a connectivity to the Southeast Asia. We'll see this topic in detail under connectivity. First, understand this is also important for our India's Act East policy. And security in northeastern India. See, many people earlier, especially at the time, so there were many rebel groups who demanded independence for Assam, Nagaland, many terrorist organizations. They took shelter in Bangladesh. Whenever we use the force, they'll escape to Bangladesh. And from Bangladesh, again, they'll come back and they're running their operations from Bangladesh. So at that time, India sought the support from Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister at that time, so she gave a tough actions. She took tough actions and hard actions against this rebels or the terrorist organizations, and she helped us to curb those terrorist organizations in Northeast India. This is a very important one because it helps us for the security of the Northeastern India. So Bangladesh actions earlier, so helped for the arrest of many top leaders in Northeast insurgent groups, United Liberation Front, National Democratic Front of Bodoland. So all these were arrested because of their actions. So the security of Northeastern region depended on Bangladesh. We'll see why. What is the connection between mainland India to the Northeastern India? This one. See, here we have Darjeeling, Siliguri and all these things. So major one is here. So this is called Siliguri corridor. I'll show you another map that would be helpful maybe. Okay, we'll continue here. So this is called Siliguri corridor, which is just 32 kilometers wide. It is also known as chicken neck of India, it is called. So between this here we can observe the Siliguri. So between Bangladesh and India, the connection to the northeastern region is just 32 kilometers wide. If China, from Bhutan, if it occupied this Siliguri corridor, if China attacked it and took the control of Siliguri corridor, what would happen? we lose the connection to northeastern India. So for that reason also, we need the help of Bangladesh. So for the security reasons of northeastern India, we need the help of Bangladesh. So coming back, so for the security reasons, and for the connections with the northeastern region, we need Bangladesh help. So what is the connectivity? So northeastern states are landlocked. They're not having any ports. They're not having any connections to the sea. So, and also the transit agreement with the Bangladesh will help us for the socio-economic development of the northeastern region. So we'll see how the connectivity took place between the two countries. We'll use rail connectivity, road, another important one was waterways, and also via coastal area. We'll see each one of it. First we'll take about the railways. So the rail connectivity between Kulhana and Dhaka and Chilhati and Rajsa was constructed by India, and also connecting Mongla port with the Darshana Kere was also by India. So India helped Bangladesh to connect this railway lines. Why? See, if you observe here, guys, if you observe, so this is the northeastern India. So if I want to go across from the India to the other region, as I told you, this is the only way. This is the way to go to northeastern region. But if we make this, it would be very much helpful for us to reach northeastern India. See, there is these people, this northeastern Indian. So they are majorly living the subsistence farming or generating the major goods that is only needed for that region. So if we have good connectivity, we can export the region products from this region to the outside world. When that happens, this region will grow. When there is an economic development, the people will move towards, they won't join to the terrorist groups or they won't join the insurgency groups, but they will be coming to the mainstream. That's the plan. We have to develop this region economically. So we want to develop this line, not just this one. Okay. So everywhere. So we are trying to connect this corridor by developing railway lines. So these are all coming to India, these railway lines, if you observe. Okay. And we also provided them road construction equipment and machinery for their development. Next, the another important thing that happened recently between the relations was India built a 5-kilometer rail bridge that joins this Kulhana and Mongla port. See, Bangladesh has two ports, major one. The largest one was Chittagong and the other one was Mongla port. So this Mongla port, connecting this Mongla port to Kulhana, so this is also a part of it. So we are, as I told you, we are connecting this Mongla port. See, Mongla port is a major one for Indian perspective. Chittagong is also an important one, but Indian perspective, Mongla port is major one. So from Mongla port, we want to export things to the other regions of the country for us, our benefit. So for that, we have to build a railway network. So this bridge is also part of that railway network, which we are building in a longer one. Okay. So the bridge constructed with Indian line of credit, $389 million. So it will, as I told you, it will increase the connectivity with Mongla and Bangladesh, which is the Bangladesh second largest port. Next, other important point that we have to remember, as I told you, railways, roadways and waterways. So if you take in the railways, we have already dealt. So the important railway bridge that constructed recently, and it is also part of the, which will also help us to connect to the Mongla port, that is Rushpa rail bridge. And if you take the roadways, so in the roadways we gave them the construction material, machinery, technology, we supplied them to the Bangladesh. And not only that, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India and Nepal had a motor vehicles agreement. What are this motor vehicle agreement? just for the seamless, without much restrictions, flow of passengers and cargo traffic. Seamless flow of passengers and cargo traffic, we made this agreement, but still it need to be operationalized. Not to that effective, it need to be operationalized. And as I told you, we also have inland waterways. So for that reason also we need Mongla port and also the waterways. See, waterways means to Kushiara we can, if you go back here, Kushiara is flowing over from here to here. Now, if we are using from this region, so we can come over here and send our goods through waterways. Okay. So not only that, when we want to build a thermal plant or the heavy machinery, when BHL want to build a heavy machinery in Tripura, they use the railway network of Bangladesh to send the heavy machinery. It's difficult. See, the terrain of the northeastern is very rugged terrain, mountains and everything. So it will be very difficult to carry the heavy machinery over here. But it will be easy for us to move that from Kolkata to Tripura. Okay. So anyways, coming back. So what we have seen, one is security reasons, the other is connectivity, and it is a bridge to Southeast Asia, as I told you. So it is a pillar of Act East policy. The Northeast is the place where we'll connect with the Southeast. It will also help us to develop Northeastern region also. Securing a sea lanes of communication and countering terrorism and de-radicalization. As I told you earlier, so Bangladesh region, the Northeast region has insurgent groups. To curb these insurgent groups, we need help of Bangladesh. And there is also another reason. People are entering India via Bangladesh. Terrorist organizations are sending people via Bangladesh border. So, to counter those terrorist organizations or to keep them in check, we need to cooperate with Bangladesh. Okay. And not only that, here we have Bangladesh. This is northeastern India. Here what we have? Myanmar, Thailand, Laos. The golden triangle of drugs. This is called as golden triangle of drugs. So, if we take the help of Bangladesh, we can counter these organizations or spread of drugs in northeastern India. And then from there they are entering into India, so we can keep the check of drugs coming to India with the help of Bangladesh. Okay. By sharing intelligence, by doing counter-terrorist efforts, so we can secure that. Next, as I told you, what we dealt, what are the issues that were earlier solved, what are the areas that we were collaborating. So we made a Kushiara treaty and we also have dealt different sectors, and then we have seen what is the strategic significance. What is the strategic significance? One is securing the northeast from terrorists or the insurgent groups, because the connectivity, as I told you, if the Siliguri corridor is occupied, the security of the northeast region will be very difficult connecting to it, because it is a landlocked area. So we need a connection via Bangladesh. We need a connectivity via Bangladesh. And then we have seen how that connectivity took place. And the important one was Rushpa rail bridge. And we also need Bangladesh as an important one for our Act East policy. It's a good connection with, it helps us to have a good connection with Southeast Asia. Okay. And now we'll see what are the issues still pending or which are having a strain on Indo-Bangladesh relations. So first one, it was water sharing agreements. So the Joint Rivers Commission has been mandated. There was almost 54 transboundary rivers. So this commission has to always mandate and examine the sharing of these rivers and flood data sharing. Okay. And so the two major rivers which Bangladesh and India's relations are strained, one is Feni. So India requested Bangladesh for the finalization of temporary water sharing accord with the Feni river. Feni river flows from Tripura to Bangladesh. So there is a Feni river. So we have a temporary agreement over that. India wanted it to be finalized. So, see what we have seen, how many rivers we have seen in this class? One is Kushiara, which is a distributary of Barak River, and the other we are seeing is Feni River, which is, this agreement was not finalized. The other one was Teesta water sharing agreements. India wanted, India and Bangladesh, both the countries wanted it to be the negotiations on it should be over, should be resolved. Okay, so here we have a Teesta River. This Teesta River, originates in Sikkim, and it travels over Sikkim, and it forms a border between Sikkim and West Bengal, and then it goes to the Siliguri corridor and it enters into Bangladesh, and from where it joins the Brahmaputra. And not only that, here we have Rangit or Rangpo, it's a tributary of Teesta. So here this is Teesta River, which flows from here to here and joins the Brahmaputra, and from there to the Bay of Bengal. So it is the fourth largest river that helps Bangladesh for the farming and fishing activities. It's the fourth largest one. First, 80% of this catchment area of this Teesta River is in India. Only 20% of its catchment area is in Bangladesh. Okay. Now, what is the issue now? So, as I told you, it originates in Sikkim. Rangit is its tributary, and it's a fourth largest transboundary river for irrigation and fishing in Bangladesh. 80% catchment area in India, 20% in Bangladesh. What are the claims over it? The claims are Bangladesh wanted 50% of Teesta River, especially during December and May. India claims a share of 55%. So there the issue was not resolved. So the negotiations were still going on. So actually this is center-state relations came in between solving this issue. So Mamata Banerjee, the West Bengal Chief Minister, she objected the negotiations. She have objections over the Teesta Water Treaty. This is the point where when we are not forming or negotiations when the issues are not solved, China will enter. So the role of China, what China? Bangladesh approached China to have a mega project on the Teesta River. So it's not built, it was in negotiations. So China is going to play a role inside Bangladesh, where that is having relations or repercussions on the India-Bangladesh relations. Okay. What is another issue that is Bangladesh was struggling and seeking the help of India? That is Rohingya issues. Who are Rohingyas? Rohingyas are the minority people in Myanmar. So these Rohingyas, when they were persecuted, so they moved to Bangladesh, they moved to India, they moved to Sri Lanka, they moved to other countries also. Okay. So now when they started settling in Bangladesh, so this Rohingya started settling in Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is saying that, so we are a small country, we can't afford Rohingya refugees, maintaining Rohingya refugees. So actually they settled in Char Islands of Bangladesh. So they need the help of India to solve that issue. So in the international relations, in the present days, we have to keep an eye on what's the role of China playing in that concerned country. So here, what is China's relations with Bangladesh? We'll see in different perspectives. First, how China's economic relations. See, Bangladesh market is flooded with China's exports. So they're investing aggressively and extending credit of lines to the Bangladesh. So if you observe, when they're flooding their Bangladesh market with cheap exports, so to whom the trade will be? So the trade is favorable to China. The trade is favorable to China because they're dumping their goods in Bangladesh. That is one concern of Bangladesh. Second, how is the China investments? China invested in deep sea projects. So Chittagong and Mongla, they were investing. And not only that, distribution lines for the power sector and public infrastructure like sewage maintenance, road constructions, parks, and other buildings, hospitals. In that also China invested heavily. They're giving credit, they're investing heavily, and the trade is favorable towards China. And not only that, even if you observe the Bangladesh defense forces, the Bangladesh defense system majorly depend upon the Chinese military hardware. So if we observe what is going on, Bangladesh was depending upon for exports, they're depending on China is exporting them, and they're depending on heavily investments coming from China, and they also depends upon the defense products that were given by China. So now what's happening? So now Bangladesh want to diversify its markets because they don't want to fall for the China's debt trap. See, we have already seen how Sri Lanka and how the economic crisis in Sri Lanka and Pakistan occurred. They were heavily dependent on the China's credit. Okay, so they have a huge debt with China. So for that reason, Bangladesh want to reduce its debt with China and diversification of the markets. See, they want to purchase defense equipment even from India and little more investments. So this is a time where we can grab that opportunity both economically and strengthening the relations. So this is a good opportunity because they don't want to fall in the debt trap of China like Pakistan and Sri Lanka, which led to their economic crisis. So India was also wanted to take that opportunity. So that's why we are going for the SEPA negotiations, started to resolving our water agreements. See, water sharing is a major issue between the two countries. So that was also going to be solved. Okay guys, so I want you to write a question, how Bangladesh is strategically important for India. Okay, thank you guys. Please attempt the question so that helps you for your mains preparation. Thank you.